Once we had a cobra literally just outside our lab, and it was on the railing. But I don't think I have made a mistake. It is one of the most fantastic fields, and I have never regretted making that decision to come into VLSI. So she remarked that if ever you should think of a career, you should just think of teaching. Because if you do anything other than that, you wouldn't do a good job. Just to be a part of a new IIT is a very, very interesting thought. So we have graduated so many master students, and many of the BTech students who have worked with me directly or indirectly have had excellent success stories. As Gujarat is one of the places where we are also seeing a lot of progress in semiconductors.
Hello, Namaste and Sasriyakal everyone. Today, I am Praneel Joshi.
And I am Ginisha Garg. We welcome you all to TEDxConversations brought to you by Vinteo and MAPRC.
So, today we have with us Professor Joycee Mekie. Professor Joycee Mekie, a distinguished professor from the Department of Electrical Engineering at IIT Gandhinagar. Professor Mekie is an academic luminary. She has completed her bachelor's and master's from MS University Baroda, and she has completed her PhD from the prestigious IIT Bombay. At IIT Gandhinagar, she spearheads the Cutting Edge Nano DC lab, which dives deep into the world of semiconductors and VLSI design. She has a rich teaching career spanning of 15 years, and she is a source of inspiration and guidance to many students, and she has helped them reach their academic goals and also reach many research goals.
But today we are here to uncover more than just a professional accolades. Let's explore the lesser known side of Professor Mekie that make her such an inspiring person. Kicking off our podcast, let's talk about the nostalgic days we all cherish from an alma mater. I often find myself reminiscing about my old school days. So we would love to hear your stories and memories from your time at prestigious IIT Bombay.
So first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity, and to the entire TEDx team for putting together this podcast. I'm very grateful to IITGN and also the podcast team. So IIT Bombay is definitely something that I really cherish. I was very blessed to be under the supervision of two very eminent professors. One was advanced in his career, and one very young faculty who was my guide. So my academic journey was fantastic. Going from a university setting and then going into an IIT was a very different experience. The institute, the academic culture was very, very enriching. I had a lot of interesting stories there. So we were in the middle of this wild, and that was my, very distinguishing experience, I would say. So once we had a cobra literally just outside our lab, and it was on the railing. And we students were just looking at the cobra, and my supervisor just came, and it was a huge a cobra, and I wouldn't realize, but we had almost a half an hour session on how cobras are and what are the different kinds of snakes. And so my supervisor actually gave a whole talk on the entire species of snakes. That was a very interesting conversation I had. My academic setting was really cool. So I got to work with excellent faculty. Not only that, excellent peers. And I think a funny thing that was when you're in your first year, you're super excited. I think you are in your second year now, so you just come into the college and you're super excited about research, and you want to do the best. So my first year was like I was doing a lot of hard work, and I still remember the time when I just made my first presentation, and I was excited to know how I had performed, and how was my supervisor looking at it. And the whole day he was busy after my presentation, couldn't catch him, and I was like, no, I must get the feedback. And I remember meeting him in the middle of the night around 12 o'clock. After he finished all his meetings and all, he still made it a point to have this discussion with me. I really felt that very special when he discussed how my presentation was, what is the plan ahead. So it was a very, very special time at IIT Bombay.
It was fascinating to hear your story from IIT Bombay, ma'am. Adding to this, we would like to know how your passion for semiconductors, particularly VLSI design, developed.
Okay, so Not really VLSI design. So because by trade I'm an electrical engineer, so I did all the courses in power system and power electronics and HVDC, high voltage DC, and many such courses. So when I finished my bachelor's and went to my master's, I started having a lot of love for microprocessors and microcontrollers, and so I did my master's in that field. But I had only so much knowledge to say that I would like to do my PhD in embedded systems. So when I went to IIT Bombay, I was looking for faculty who would be interested in embedded systems, and so the faculty asked, okay, what in embedded systems? And I said, well, that's a good question, but I don't think I have an answer for that. So I really did not know what I'd be doing. But when I met my supervisor after almost 6 months or so, we had multiple options, including mobile computing, because or designing hardware for mobiles, because it was just getting launched and there was a lot of research opportunity in that domain. But I got pulled towards VLSI after doing a couple of courses there, and so I said, okay, this seems to something that that'll be interesting for me for the next 5 years. So let's take on this journey. So that's how pretty much I got into VLSI. But I don't think I have made a mistake. It is one of the most fantastic fields, and I have never regretted making that decision to come into VLSI.
It was great, like, ma'am, how your journey, like, from being confused about what to do, turned into how your interest for VLSI developed.
Yes.
Like, it's a source of inspiration, like, how we can also, like, in the future, choose our career paths in which direction you have to go. So, like, you have such a great skill set in VLSI now. So, like, you had developed back in IIT Bombay itself. So, what made you choose academia over industry?
Okay, so that's a sort of, I'll answer it like this. So I think even before I joined IIT Bombay, I was teaching in universities. And while I was teaching, I felt that I could be doing a good job of teaching because my students did appreciate at that time. However, I was always, after every semester, I used to have this thing which would say that something is missing, there's something amiss. And I wasn't really sure what was it, but I felt that, okay, why not try doing PhD? So it was not as if I had planned and, but I said, okay, let's give it a shot. So one fine evening, I just, applied for it. And within a week or 10 days or so, I was admitted. Maybe it's a story for a different occasion, but just to, cut the story short. So once I was in IIT Bombay, we were also given, labs as a TA and tutors and all. And I distinctly remember one particular incident where, my supervisor was teaching a course in asynchronous circuit design, and I was a tutor for it. And just after the tutorial got over, we were also friends because they were the master students who had taken the course, and I was a PhD student just tutoring. So after the tutorial, we were all just sitting, hanging around, and one of the students remarked, was also a very good friend of mine. So she remarked that if ever you should think of a career, you should just think of teaching, because if you do anything other than that, you wouldn't do a good job. So I think those words ringed at that time and sort of stayed with me for some time. And when my PhD got over, I got to know about IIT Gandhinagar being started, and there was there was a lot of talk about how things will be in the new IIT, and that was a very exciting thing for me. Just to be a part of a new IIT is a very, very interesting thought. So I did not even take interviews, although there were many interviews that would be scheduled around that time. And I straight away applied to IIT Gandhinagar, and here I am.
That is so insightful, ma'am. You run a lab called Nano DC lab at IIT Gandhinagar, where several students would be working under you and whom you might have helped to climb the ladder of success. So, can you please share some of the success stories of your students?
Yeah, so I would not be doing a good job if I just mention a few names, because there are several students who have done excellent, and we have been running this master's program for the past, so we'll be finishing one full decade this year. So we have graduated so many master students, and many of the BTech students who have worked with me directly or indirectly have had excellent success stories, and many of my PhD students. So while I'm talking about a few I would not name them just because the others are not, but really just to give an insight on how different students have taken different career paths and how they have gone into different fields. Just so that. So I think in 2014 batch student who graduated in 2018. So Aparna Keti, she worked with me. I think she was a student who really worked a very long time, almost 2 years or a little bit more than that. And interestingly, she had gone to a conference and she was also applying for PhD, probably MS also. And while she was presenting at the conference, in the middle of the conference itself, she was interviewed by a professor from Purdue, and now she was at Purdue just after a year. And then now, after finishing her PhD after so many years, she is now with Meta. So I think that's one of the very interesting, student story from the very first set of students whom I worked with. Then there have been students like Sumit Walia, who worked during COVID time online, and then he worked for a short time as a JRF with me, and now he's at UCSD working in genomics. He's done some very interesting work, and recently he could publish an best paper, a paper which had got a best paper award at a top-notch architecture conference. So that's a COVID story. I think there were many students who have done excellent work during COVID. One of my master's student who also worked with my PhD student got us a paper in the top conference called Design and Automation Test in Europe DATE conference. And this paper was nominated for the best paper. And so I think during COVID also many students have made a lot of good contributions. From BTech, recently a batch which graduated, Rajesh is one of the students I would like to make mention. He's gone to NVIDIA and he tells me that this is his dream job. And I also want to mention about one student who made to Intel and how students are coming back and contributing. So now he's currently with Intel, and recently he helped me to organize a small talk with his manager, who talked about one of the topics in VLSI. And now we are working together to see if we can collaborate. Talking about my PhD students, so the PhD students have made to excellent places. One of my PhD students is with NVIDIA at a very good position there. Two of my students are in Germany doing their postdocs. And one of the students is working with me to write an Indo-German project. Then there is another student who had several offers from multiple companies, and he's currently with ARM in Noida. So there are many, many success stories. I think the list is endless, but I think for the time being, I'll stop here.
It was great. Like it also opened the many things to us also. Like we are also in electrical, so it opened many new opportunities. Like we also got to know how things in VLSI go on, from your stories, and what all career paths can be for us as well. So continuing your talk about Nano DC Lab, so as we all know, conferences are an integral part of any research institution, may it be a lab or a university,
Yes.
etc. So we got to know your students have participated and showed their research at several conferences like Semicon India and VLSI Design Conference. So, and you will be proud of their achievement. So, what does these achievements and the presentation mean to you, your lab, and to IIT Gandhinagar?
That's a great question. It's a very important question also. So I think attending conferences is first of all very, very important. I remember one of my students in his first year of PhD, I had asked him to apply for a fellowship to attend, one of the top-notch architecture conference, and he got a fully funded fellowship. He could go, and he did not have anything to publish, but he just could still go and attend a PhD workshop. And I think coming back from there, he himself testified that it has opened up his own understanding, because he understands that now he's competing with the world, and it just helped him a lot, to change his own perspective about research and how one should do research. So it helped him to set a very, very high goal for himself. I think during his own PhD, he had published more than 15 papers or so during his PhD work, and that is because he understood the importance of working in teams, working with more people. And that's how this was possible. Many of my students have been able to go to conferences. I mentioned about Aparna already. There have been other such success stories also, where students have gone to a conference And it has happened even in the current graduating batch also. They have gone to a conference and they have been interviewed right in the middle of the conference, and they have been considered. So it's a very important thing. Plus, it's also important for us to represent our country. There are many conferences such as Design and Test Automation in Europe, Design Automation Conference in US. There are many conferences where India is not very much represented. So it's very important as a researcher that our country is represented in some of these best conferences.
It's wonderful to see your students making such an impact, but your accomplishments are equally impressive. You have been honored with awards like the Young Faculty Research Award and the Award for Excellence in Teaching. What do these honors represent you in your career, and what was the journey that led to the successes?
So the awards mean a lot to me. I'm very grateful to Ministry of Electronics and IT, MIT, India, who have first of all had this wonderful opportunity of Vishwesvaraya PhD fellowship, through which young faculty and PhD students are funded, and now they've also included postdocs. So it's a very, very good scheme through which we receive the funding. It's also funding which helps us to attend many international conferences. So I would say it meant a lot, because it was in my early career over here, and it really boosted my confidence. It also helped me to meet many people in these conferences, due to which many collaborative projects could happen. It also paved way for some of the funding that I've got. For example, Semiconductor Research Corporation, US. It's one of the international funding agencies through which we have got the funding. So some of these very interesting things have happened because of these such fellowships which enabled us to attend the conferences. It was also, I think, the Excellence of Teaching Award is something that is, I think, what every faculty would look forward to, because it represents the student, feelings, I would say, or students' impression about us. It means a lot to me. It also means that I have to set a higher bar for myself every time I teach. And as a teacher, I always feel that I must do a good job of teaching.
That was great. How you got your these awards and what they mean to you. So besides these achievements, you must have many responsibilities and accolades also. So and also you must definitely have a very busy schedule. So as a student, we want an advice from you. Are there some activities that you do in your free time as a stress buster, which you would advise to us as well?
Okay. So I would say that I am having a very busy schedule, but not a stressful schedule. So I do take one full day off in my week, where I don't jam myself with things. I make sure that I spend sufficient time with my family. That's very, very important for me. I also prioritize it a lot. Then we as a family have an yearly schedule where we will be spending time, outside of the campus, or, just outside home. So there are certain things that we sort of plan and do ahead of time. As far as the lab and other activities are concerned, I feel that how much ever you plan, there's always something that's going to come, right at the 11th hour. So you just have to address it. But yeah, I do take time sometimes, to just go for swimming, or, cycling or walking, or just, take some time to talk with friends. And so these are the other things that I do. But I think that what has really helped me all these years is this discipline of just keeping one day free from all of the rest of the things. And that has really helped me a lot.
That's a great strategy, ma'am, and I know it will help us a lot and all of the students who will be watching this. And now moving on to the different aspect of your work. This year, as you know, that IIT Gandhinagar has introduced a new branch named Integrated Circuit Designing and Technology. So can you share some insights about it?
Yes. So first of all, I would like to encourage all those who are probably going to watch this podcast to, there is a special video on ICDT, Integrated Circuit Design and Technology. So, and I think my faculty colleagues have put in a lot of effort and, shown and talked a lot about this whole program. And also there's a lot of information on the website. So it will be I would request people to go through the website, see what all we are doing. As far as the program itself is concerned, it is an excellent move in the right direction. As Gujarat is one of the places where we are also seeing a lot of progress in semiconductors, and there's a lot of push for semiconductor as a country, and there is a need for it. I think this is a very, very right thing that has happened in the institute. I personally am very, very happy about it. About the course itself, so this course will have courses. This particular program will have a lot of opportunities for industry to interact with the students. We all are making a lot of effort to bring in industry, to bring in curriculum that is also going to be useful in the semiconductor industry. And we are not working alone. We want to partner with industry. We also, so in the advisory board of this whole program, we have included several people from industries. We have also included people from the US universities, from other universities, just so that we have a very broad understanding of the need and we are doing the right thing. The courses will be divided into the basket of circuits. There'll be systems courses, circuits courses, design courses. Then there will be focus on devices, how they are designed, how they're manufactured, how they're fabricated, and there'll be a whole work on manufacturing, packaging, and many other aspects. And I think this is also a program that will bring together electrical engineering, computer science, mechanical, material science. So it'll be like one good way to bring all the faculty together and pool in all the energy so that we can make it a success. And I'm hoping that it will be a great success in the days to come.
It was great to hear, ma'am. Like so much effort is put into how a new program is like being born into an IIT. Like so much effort is being taken, and it is great to see like how the newly introduced branch, integrated circuit designing and technology, is trying to bring all the different faculties of IIT Gandhinagar and like these three branches that you mentioned together.
Yes.
So like we are a part of TEDx IIT Gandhinagar, and so this platform has given us this opportunity to have this enriching talk with you. So this will help not only us but all the students and all the audience who will be watching this podcast. So my question, next question to you is like, were there any experiences from your life where you have worked to make such thoughtful conversations and these resources accessible to audience?
Okay, so I think most of the opportunities that I have got is as a faculty, for example, where either I have been a part of a panel or I have got an opportunity to bring together, panels. For example, when we organize, conference panels. So recently, I was a part of the Women in Engineering panel for a conference, and it gave me an opportunity to bring together like-minded people, many people from industry. So I think such panels help because they are, first of all, cut out for students looking forward to understand what is the VLSI industry about, what is semiconductor about, and what are the different opportunities, how should they prepare, and what is the kind of funding they should look forward to, what are the kind of fellowships that are available. So having these kind of exposures is good for them. So I've been a part of, forming such panels, if that's what your question meant. And that has actually helped me also in return, because it also helped me understand how industry would look forward to having students. For example, what does industry want the students to know, or what kind of a background should the students have when they are getting ready for, let's say, semiconductor industry.
It was great to hear like your experience, ma'am, about making these thoughtful conversations, and I feel when people will hear this podcast, then they will also be like more inspired to have such thoughtful conversations, and they will also get they will also be these conversations will be helpful to them also and to the audience to whom they will make these conversations public. So my next question is like, as IIT Gandhinagar is moving forward, so we are expecting more and more students to join our institute. So what are your vision about IIT Gandhinagar and electrical engineering here?
So I'll pick the word vision first. I think it's a vision that our institute already has. the vision of IIT Gandhinagar is, and which is also personally my own vision, I would like to see an institute where the mind is without fear and knowledge is free, and where we have not cut our cells into different boundary with different fragments and have these very narrow boundaries, and where the truth really comes from the depths of our heart. So that's the kind of a prayer that we have in our vision document, and I very much believe in that. And even as our institute grows, I feel that if there was someone who would ask, okay, what is it that you want for the institute? I would want that there should be 100% integrity, honesty, and where we shouldn't have to lock the labs, we shouldn't be locking our libraries. We should just be able to move freely in this institute. How many ever number of students we grow to, if we have that kind of an institute, then we'll all be excellent, because we don't have to waste our time in anything that is not required, including SAC.
It was like great, like how you want a college to be, even if the batch size grows. Like it's a really very insightful.
And for electrical engineering, I'll just answer that question. So yeah, I have a vision for electrical engineering that the JE toppers should first look for IIT Gandhinagar Electrical Engineering Department, and the GATE toppers should look for ICTT and electrical engineering. So that's a vision I have. Maybe it's a short term, but yeah.
So by hearing you, like we are feeling like we have taken a good choice by being by selecting electrical engineering at IIT Gandhinagar. So we think we will make the best use of the facilities that we are getting here by being in electrical engineering, and we will make best use of it. It was also great, like your vision and the college, the institute's vision is like mind is without fear and knowledge is free. It was really really inspiring for us.
This is by Sri Rabindranath Tagore. I've just quoted his words, although not verbatim.
But really, the mind should be without fear and knowledge should be accessible to all.
Yes.
Now we'll move on to the last and the most exciting part of this podcast, the rapid fire round. In this, we will ask you few questions whose answers you have to give in a few words. So my first question is, if you could have any superpower while teaching, what would it be?
I should be able to read the mind of the student.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
So, if you were a child again, what is one thing that you want to do again?
I would like to play with mud.
Okay, so if you were to represent an electrical circuit component, what would it be?
Battery,
Can you answer why?
because it has power.
That was a very nice one. So, teachers should be with power and they should help the students get energized as well.
Okay.
So, next question is a dream of yours which you want to come true in the upcoming years.
My dream is that all my students who are in PhD should get excellent fellowships, and they should make it to the top conferences. They should be able to, get excellent jobs, or be able to get their dream jobs. And more than that, I would like that whoever works with me, should be excited about research. They should be excited about being in a lab. They should be excited about working together, and they should be excellent team spirit. And there should be, they should wake up in the morning and say, "Let's go to the lab," or if it's night, let's stay in the lab, whichever way.
That was really nice.
Yeah. Okay, so if not a teacher, what profession?
I desire to open an orphanage someday and serve the poor children.
Your thought for like, it's like you are dedicating your life to like students, like particularly children, so that they get everything they need and they grow in life.
Yes.
It's really nice. So, any hidden talents that you want to share?
Okay. I think I can sing, but I'm not sure about it.
Okay, so if you were to nominate someone for TEDx Talks at IIT Gandhinagar, who would it be?
I would like to have Professor Rajat Muna come and be a part of this.
So, like, ma'am, it was really interesting talking to you. Like, from the start, we got many insights about your life at IIT Bombay. Like, some of your funny stories that you said. Like, one of your professor, your guide, gave a when you saw cobra, how he gave a whole lecture on the species of snakes, and then your vision and and institute's vision where mind should be without fear and knowledge should be free. It really inspired us, and it will also help us in the future someday. And like the new, we also got new insights about the newly opened branch, and our audience will also got to know a lot of things about it. How a new program is born, what all efforts are being put for a new branch to come up. It was really insightful, and it was really great talking to you. So we thank you, ma'am, for taking out time from your busy schedule and sharing your insights with us and the audience as well. So it's been a pleasure talking with you, and we got to know a lot of new and interesting facts. So that was Joycee ma'am for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And this podcast was brought to you in association with MAPRC and Vinteo. Stay curious, keep connected, and follow TEDxIIT Gandhinagar for more such interesting podcasts. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.